Hi YouTube, welcome back to my channel, Pages and Stitches. My name is Kelly and I'm glad you're here with me today. Today is January 9th, 2022. So we're still in the early stages of the new year. And today I thought I wanted to go through all of my WIPs and do a WIP parade just to show you kind of what I'm working on and what's kind of coming up. I don't work with a rotation. I just kind of work on whatever's tickling my fancy at the time. So, yeah, I'll just show you, I'm going to start in chronological order and show you what I've started, you know, since getting into cross stitching again, and then go from there. So, I technically have 6 WIPs, but only 5 of them are active, which I know is not a lot compared to what a lot of floss tubers do. I have to give a shout out to Globetrotting Stitcher, Amy and Gary over at their channel. They have different classifications for stitchers that I really like. They've got the monogamous stitcher who does just one project to completion, which I think is so admirable because you don't find many of them anymore. Then they have the polygamous stitcher who does like 9 or 10 or less, which is kind of the category I fall into. And then you have the promiscuous stitcher who just has 10 or more to infinity and beyond. And that I hope I never get to, because that sounds like just so overwhelming to me. But I know there are people out there that have like 80 WIPs, and that's just like, I mean, how do you have the time? I don't know. So, okay, before we get started, I'm going to do my reading update. I just finished Prince of Dreams by Kleypas. She is my absolute favorite historical romance author. So if you're into especially like Regency era, go for her. She's the queen. And I started A Fate of Wrath and Flame by Kay Tucker. So that's what I'm reading right now. Okay, so first I'm gonna show you my oldest WIP, but it's the one that's in, I guess, like stitchy purgatory right now, because I'm not actively working on it. I have no plans to in the near future, but I'll get into all that. So this first WIP that may or may not come out ever again is a Dimensions kit called Spring Fairy. There's the picture. And it is, how big is this? The finished size is 14 by 12. It's full coverage with full cross and half cross stitches, and it's done on a 16 count gray Aida. So when I first got back into cross stitching and decided I really wanted to delve back in, I went to my local craft store and I bought this Dimensions kit, and I decided, okay, this is how I'm gonna start. And I learned, I have to shout out another YouTuber and also a TikToker. Her name is Adam Heartmother. She's a complete doll. I love her to death. She's the one who I have to credit for getting me so actively back into cross stitching. I saw one of her TikTok videos on my For You page. It just randomly came across, and it was showing how to do the loop start method, and it was like a light switch flipped, and it was all I needed to get back. I was like, oh, that's amazing. And then I started researching, and I found Flosstube, and that's how I learned about a lot of things. But this project is also how I learned about gridding your fabric and the parking method, and how like significant it was to make sure all your crosses are going the same way. You know, for a novice, you don't know all those things. They're not obvious to everybody. So this was, there's a steep learning curve on this project, which is ultimately kind of why I gave it up. But let me pull it out here. So I gridded my fabric, and I did it with a mechanical pencil, which I'm pretty sure is like a big no-no, because you can't erase pencil from fabric. So I don't know. Anyways, let me just show it to you first. So this is how far I got before, and I'm sorry for all the threads. Like I said, I've learned parking method here. This is how far I got. So it's like, you know, there's the top, and this is half of the image. So I've got like her dress, there's ribbon here. This is the bottom of a wing. I did a little bit of the back stitching down here. There's this cute little squirrel. So yeah, I mean, the reason why I kind of gave up on this is because when I started it and I was still learning, I started in the middle here, like this area, and I made a lot of mistakes. I didn't frog, I just kind of fudged, and not all my stitches are going, like all my crosses aren't going the same way. So there was a lot of like things that I learned with this one, but ultimately I kind of just got frustrated with it because I was like, I don't know if I'm gonna be able to hide the pencil marks, you know, you can see them through her, and I don't know if washing it will take all that out. I don't know. So I kind of got frustrated with it, and I was like, well, if it's not gonna look good in the end, then, you know, why continue it? But I haven't decided yet if I'm completely giving up on it. I don't know. What do you guys think? Anyways. Oh, and that reminds me, since I posted my first few videos, I've had a couple of people subscribe, which is really cool. I didn't ask for subscribers. I'm not that kind of YouTuber, but like the fact that a couple of you like want to see what's going on in my future with as far as my needlecraft work, that's really cool. So I can't see who you are, so if you want to just drop a comment below and say hi, like that'd be awesome. Let's be friends. Tell me what you think I should do with this. So I just have it set aside. I bobbinated all the flosses and put them on a ring. And I just have it set aside in this bag. And I don't know if I'll ever get back to it, but I'm not quite committed to giving it up yet. So we'll see what happens. Anyways, so my next oldest WIP that, and these are all active WIPs after this, is this DesignWorks kit called Woodland Castle. There's the title there. And this is the, when I was doing my stash parade, this is the one that I said was a companion piece to that other DesignWorks kit, which I don't have next to me. I'll put in a picture. But I saw this, and I actually passed by it in the store several times, and I just kept coming back to it, and finally I was like, all right, just shut up and buy it. So I did. And as you can see, let me get closer here. It is a very like backstitch heavy pattern. So it might not be for everybody, but I just really enjoy it. I love all these cute animals down here, and there's tons of birds and butterflies. The castle in the background is really cute. Like look at this guy. Look at that guy. Little rabbit. I don't know if it'll focus on him, but he's just so stinking cute. And so I was like, whatever, just get it. And I did. So here's my progress on it. Let's see if I can see. There we go. So I did grid this fabric. It is a 14 count white Aida. And let me bring it in closer. You can see I started it July 2021. So it's been about 6 months. This is the progress I've made. And this, let me see, this cross right here is the exact middle. So when the pattern is in 2 pieces, or 2 pages divided down the middle, and I folded them into fourths. So I'm doing like fourths of each section. So it's like 8 sections total. So I'm 3/8 of the way done, and I am back stitching as I go, because like you saw on the pattern, it is back stitch heavy, and I would just like pull my hair out in frustration if I left that all to the end. So you can see there's a lot of cool stuff in here, you know, like little birds, flowers, this little guy, butterflies, there's little acorns here, and I've just stitched the farthest column. Like this stitch right here is as far as it goes. So that was kind of cool to get to the farther end. And this is full coverage. It's 2/1 full cross. And then what are the dimensions on this? 14 by 18. So that's my oldest active WIP. And I wanted to show you this. So I found a floss tuber called Stitching Dreamer, and I'll link all these channels I'm talking about below. And she does all of her flosses on these like floss drop plates. And I get them on Amazon. They're super cheap. I actually just ordered more. But I prefer, what I've discovered is I prefer floss drops to bobbins. Because I like them pre-cut and I think they're really easy to pull from. I just cut off the little thread names and symbols from the pattern and just taped them on here. But yeah, so this is my floss method, at least for this project. And I actually worked on this yesterday. I'm super excited about it. I just love it. I took a break from it for a couple months to do some of my other projects, and then I just saw it the other day and I missed it, so I got back to it. Okay, so my next oldest WIP is an Etsy pattern. I'm trying to pick these up carefully because they're on the table that my tripod is on and I don't want to shake the camera. So in my stash video, I talked about how I purchased some fancy lady designs from an Etsy shop, which I didn't credit because I found out later that they were stolen artwork that was converted to a cross stitch pattern. And I didn't know that until after I already bought it and started it. So I don't want to waste the money, and I still like the pattern. So I'm just gonna keep doing it. So you saw the other fancy ladies in my stash video, the purple kind of springtime one and the pink one. And then this is you'll have to forgive me because I dropped some water on it. So there's these weird water drops, but this is the blue lady. And this is the one that I'm working on currently. I mean, all their names are like elegant lady random numbers. So she's my blue fancy lady. That's what I'm calling her. And I'm doing all of them together. Like I've kitted all three of them and then just put everything in one bobbin holder. So all three of their flosses are in here. And then once I'm done with this, I'm gonna take them off the bobbins and put them on floss drops. I'm revamping my storage for my floss, so this is part of the process. Anyways, sorry, I have this pattern stuck here and I don't want to show you the pattern, even though it's stolen art. Let me pull that off real quick. And I am using, here it is. I am using a 20 count Purple Passion Aida that I got from Everything Cross Stitch. This frame is just a touch too small, so whenever I put it on there, like I couldn't quite stretch it out, so that's why they got all the wrinkles in there. But I don't really feel like changing it, like it's already on there. And I am using the parking method, and I didn't start out that way. You're probably wondering, why is this part done and then just like this center section? So the pattern comes divided right up the middle. And her shape is obviously very like hourglass up to a big giant hat. So I started on one side, I started here, and I started doing cross country. And because this is so like confetti heavy, like I was making so many mistakes. So I switched over to the parking method, and I'm kind of working like a snake going up and across. So I went this way and I did all these, and then I'm coming, sorry, I had these down here. I went this way and I did all this and I came back up, and now I'm going this way and I'm gonna go like, almost like figure eights, I guess, up. And she's gonna get slender and slender till we get to her big hat. And like up close, it kind of just looks like a mess. But back here, like you can really see the way this is playing out to be like ripples in the dress. And you can see here, let me grab the pattern. You can see the little decorative bits on the bottom of her dress really showing up. And this is, like I said, it's 20 count Aida, and I'm doing 2/1 full cross. And this is probably the smallest size fabric that I would do 2/2 full cross. This is actually really difficult to work with because it's so bulky. I mean, obviously the coverage is great, but I went down to a size 28 needle because I needed something that was small enough to like pierce through the bulk. Anyways, that's my blue fancy lady. And like I said, came from Etsy. And I will leave the shop uncredited because they steal art. You know, just isn't cool. Anyways, okay. So the next WIP that I started was a Mirabilia. And that is Ophelia. Let me pull out the pattern here. Here she is. There we go. There she is in all her glory. I kind of, so like I saw her online and I kind of just went all at once. And I went to watch a video from one of my favorite Flosstubers, Woodland Stitcher, and she just started or purchased this and started kitting it up. And I just was like, okay, this is my sign. I was a little bit intimidated to start a Mirabilia because I know that they're treasure heavy, and I know that, you know, they typically are done on a linen. I'd never worked with a linen before, so this was intimidating for me, but I'm so glad I started because I'm having a ball doing this. So I am doing it on a 32 count Belfast linen in dark olive. The pattern I believe calls for laurel linen, but when I saw it online, it almost looked like brown. Like it just kind of didn't photograph well. I think it's just like a dark army green. So I wanted something that looked a little bit more true to color in this photo. So I ordered the dark olive in 32 count. And this is where I'm at. She looks a little like ghostly because I don't have the back stitching done on her face. And obviously I'm leaving holes where all the beads go. But her hair is just fantastic. I love it. So I just finished up her neckline. Now I'm gonna get started on the dress. Everything, it's probably gonna be slower going after this because everything here is more, like it's a lot more coverage. And I started this, I wanna say in August or September. I don't remember, so I'll insert what date it was. I haven't stitched it on the border yet, but I will. And the thing I liked most about her is just her color palette. Again, I have these on floss plates or floss drop plates that I got on Amazon, and I just taped the DMC color number on there. But like if you look at all these colors, like there's these wonderful, beautiful, earthy tones interspersed with like these neons. And I think that's so creative. And there's some Karen water lilies. I've got the beads with it. So anyways, she's a fun one to work on. Put her away. Gotta make sure all this stuff isn't gonna topple over. Okay, so after those three, I decided I wanted to start like a smaller project to travel with. Whenever I go to work and we have slow days, I like to have a small project nearby that I can work on, so that way I can keep my hands busy. And I decided I was gonna start this dimensions project. So I chose Dimensions Elegant Geisha. It's a gold petite, so it's small, finished size 5x7. And it is done on an 18 count ivory Aida, full cross and half cross. mostly 2/1. But she's just like, the only thing I don't really like about her is kind of how flat her face is. Like there's really no shading there, so I might try and work on that. But her kimono is just, it's so bright, and I love all the shading with all the blues and the golds. Anyways, so I've been working on her whenever I go somewhere and I need to stay busy. And this is what I have of her. So I've basically done the entire bottom half other than the specialty stitching, and I need to add more of this like cream color on this part. So, but other than that, the bottom half is finished. And it comes with a size 26 needle, I believe. I think most people use a 24, especially for their larger counts, like a 14 and an 18 count. Excuse me, a 14 and a 16 count, or a 28, 32 count. But 18, the holes are starting to get a little smaller. So this is a size 26 needle. Yeah. And she's coming along fast. She'll be done definitely this year. You know, I won't have to worry about getting a finish on her because she's small enough that like I'm definitely gonna get one. And that's the great thing about starting these small projects is like, especially if you're one of those floss tubers that's motivated by your finishing. I said floss tuber, I meant cross stitcher. If that's motivated by seeing a finished project, a small project will really kind of like boost your self-esteem while you're working on the big stuff that's taking forever and a day to finish. Okay, so my last active WIP is actually my New Year, New Start. I had a couple of contenders when I was doing my stash parade, and now I'm going to show you which one I chose. So I knew I wanted to start a kit because it was already all included, like everything was there. I didn't have to kit it up. So I started, Frederick the Literate, little kitty cat on the bookshelf. And I'm really having a good time with this. I haven't gotten much, you know, it's only been a week of progress, but still, it's just been tons of fun. And it is done on a 14 count black Aida. Finished size is 12 by 11. So here is my progress. So it's just part of a shelf. This here is like his paw, I think. Yeah. This is part of his like little arm that's sticking over. I started in the middle because it was just easiest. This is his little paw, and this is the bottom of a book. This is a book that goes up like this. And then there's some shadow back here that's more of his body. But yeah, he's been just super enjoyable to work on, super easy. A lot of people don't like working on Aida because they think it's too stiff, and admittedly it is pretty stiff. But the thing I really like about working on Aida, especially as like a novice stitcher, is that it really helps me keep my crosses uniform, especially while you're trying to figure out kind of your tension and how to get that muscle memory in your hand. I mean, working on an Aida is a great way to start. So if you're an Aida lover, or if you're starting out and you feel like weird about working on Aida, don't, because I like it a lot. So there is my progress for Frederick the Literate. So since my WIPs are a little bit few and far between, at least compared to other people, I was gonna supplement this video with some other stuff. Okay, so the next thing I wanted to show you was a couple of things that I had finished previously. Unfortunately, I no longer have them with me because I gave them away as gifts, so I'll just have to insert pictures. Okay, so the first thing that I made a while ago was a gift for my friend Melissa. And it was a little Artiste brand cross-stitch kit, which I'll insert a picture of. I don't have a picture of the finished product because I just didn't think to take one, but it was called Mini Cactus Garden. She and I just have this weird thing about cactuses. We just think they're cute and we like them. So I made her this gift. It was a Christmas present called Mini Cactus Garden. I got it at my craft store. I don't even think it's available anymore. Like when I search for it now, I can only find it on eBay. So sorry about that if you like it, but I can't find it anymore. And then the other thing I wanted to show you was a gift I made a little bit more recently. It was also an Artiste brand kit, and I made it for a friend of mine who actually owns the quilt shop that's nearby. Her name is Terry, and the quilt shop is called Lone Star Quiltworks. So I made her a cross stitch sampler from Artiste called Sewing Notions, and I framed it by, what I did was I bought a frame and I took the glass out, and then I bought some mat board and I cut the mat board to the size I wanted, and I used like temporary tape or repositionable tape to get the design on the mat board, and then I folded all the edges around it, and then I mounted that on another piece of mat board that I cut to fit the frame itself. It almost looks like it's floating in the frame because it's mounted on a black mat board and the frame is black, excuse me. So it just kind of looks like it's free floating in the frame itself. And I gave that to her and she loved it. She said she hangs it in her quote room at home. So that was fun for me to do. And I learned quite a bit on those items as well. Okay, so the last thing I wanted to show you was the finished projects that I have in my home, and there's not many of them, but they all came from other people and were gifts to me. So I can't take credit for any of these, but I wanted to show you regardless because I wanted to share kind of what pieces I had in my home and what I was using to decorate my home with. So let me flip the camera around and I'll show you what I'm looking at. So here is the first cross stitch. I'm sorry, didn't mean to shake the camera there. Here's the first cross stitch project that I have hanging in my house in my sewing room. This is a Mirabilia pattern called Christmas Elegance. And this one was stitched by my sister, and she gifted it to my mom, and then my mom gifted it to me. And I know people are probably going like, why do you have a Christmas pattern hanging in January? This lives here year round. It's so gorgeous and lovely that I don't want to take it down, and time is a construct. So this stays here year round. I'm not really partial to seasonal decorating. I mean, I do put up a Christmas tree, but other than that, you know, I don't take things down as the season changes. So this, I'll bring you in closer. Like I said, is a Mirabilia pattern. And she stitched it on, I believe it is a 14 count light blue Aida. And just look at all the different beading and treasure work that's done on here. It's very treasure heavy, but really just stunning. So because I love her so much and because she's sentimental to me, she lives here year round. All right, and then the next one I want to show you is right on the wall over. This one right here, if I'm not mistaken, is called Blue Ribbon Winter by Paula Vaughn. Let me know if I'm incorrect about that, but I think that's what it's called. This one was stitched by my mom back in like, I don't know, the 90s, maybe even earlier. I'm not sure how old this pattern is. And it's the perfect subject matter for my quilt room, so that's where it lives. And when she framed this, she framed it, or she took it to a shop who did not use acid-free mat board. So you can see like the yellowing on the edges of the mat board. So if I were to take this out of the frame, I'm pretty sure everything around underneath on the fabric underneath these boards would be like yellow now. So I don't know, I might reframe this and see if I can get somebody to salvage it, or I might just leave it, I don't know. But yes, so this is, and as far as I understand it, Paula Vaughn has an entire line of quilt themed patterns. So I think it would be fun to find a companion piece to this and then stitch that and then frame it and hang it right here next to my mom's piece. So yes, this is Paula Vaughn's blue ribbon winner. The last two cross stitch projects that I wanted to show you that were gifted to me and live here in my home, live here on my bookcase downstairs, and you'll have to forgive me for the lighting. The sun is setting fast. So this first one, coming closer, my friend Melissa made for me. I don't know where she got this pattern. I think she improvised the Radiating Badass on there, but I'm pretty sure the skull came from Etsy. She and I went through our radiology program together, which is kind of why the skull and the radiating is on there. That's kind of our thing. We met and became instant friends. We've been best friends ever since. That was years ago. And she made this for me as a Christmas gift, and I love it so much. And so she finished it on this quilt hoop. The back is like a felt that she stitched on, and I adore this piece. So this lives here on my bookshelf. And the other piece that also lives here on my bookshelf, let me squat down here, is this piece here. This was stitched by one of my coworkers, my friend Stephanie. She's a doctor that I work with. And she made this pineapple piece for me and also gave it to me as a Christmas gift years later than the other one. And again, I adore it. I just love handmade gifts for my friends, especially when they come in the form of like a project that or a hobby that I adore. So she made this pineapple for me, and I think it was an Etsy pattern. I'm not sure where that one came from though. So this one also lives here on my bookshelf. So I'm gonna step back and I'll give you a full look at my bookshelf. It's got all sorts of, I mean, it's a small bookshelf compared to other people, but it's got all sorts of like trinkets and doodads and various tchotchkes on there. And there's Milo. Hi, buddy. But yeah, those are the cross stitch projects that live in my home. So there you have it, floss tubers. That's my update today. I just kind of wanted to show you what I'm working on, and I'm gonna keep working on these, and I can't wait to give you my next update so you can see how far I've gotten on my projects. And I hope you're having a great day. I hope your weekend is going great. I hope you get to do a lot of stitching and doing, do whatever makes you happy. I'm gonna go move all this stuff back to my stitchy spot, and then I'm gonna get to work on one of them because I'm feeling extra stitchy today. So again, if you subscribe to me, thank you so much. That's so kind of you. When I started this channel, I had 3 subscribers, and it was just like people that I had started following years ago, and then they followed me back just to be nice. I don't even think they make videos anymore. So the handful of you that have subscribe to my channel and watch my videos, thank you so much. That's so nice of you. Like I said, drop me a comment so I can say hi. I'd love to get to know you guys. And I think that's everything. If you have any questions, let me know. Comment down below. I'm gonna try and dig up all the pictures and all the links to everything, all the YouTube channels I mentioned, I'll link down below. And yeah. So thank you for stopping by my channel today. I will see you guys next time. Bye, YouTube.